What's up, y'all? So, in celebration of the fact that, Thor Love and Thunder is coming out this weekend, I'm going to see it. I decided that we need to just go ahead and break down Gorr The Godbutcher and talk about why Thor should be literally pissing his pants. Like, he needs to be really scared right now. Real quick, I really want to use Patreon as a way for you guys to just let me know which topics to cover or what to talk about, like what y'all want me to talk about. Because this is fun. This is fun. We about to get into it. This is fun. So just check my description for that. It's patreon.com/Adrian Expression, but check my description box for all that. There's a bunch of stuff in my description. Honestly, you need to check it. Make sure you check it. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it right now. So we're gonna start from his origins, right? And okay, so Gorr is an alien. He lives on this planet that's really hard to live on, basically. Like, the people there, they run the risk of dehydration. The elements there are hard to deal with. It's hard to survive there. There's predators all over the place. We talking about, like, animals and shit trying to hunt their ass down. It's bad. His mom died trying to save him from some animals on the planet or some shit. He even grows up and he has a family. But they all die. Conditions on this planet is harsh, okay? It's terrible. So those were the major reasons why his family died. It's just really bad living there. So basically by this point, like we just said, Gorr mama done died, his whole family done died, but the kicker is that his entire tribe, they're extremely religious. They pray to their gods, okay? They pray to their gods. And during their entire time, I guess, as a civilization on this planet, they pray to these gods. And they're just like, the one time something good happens, they're like, oh my gosh, this is a gift from the gods. This is a gift from the gods. But the 99% of the rest of the time, when living on this planet is so horrible, they see that as like, oh, the gods are testing us. They're testing us. And Gorr, by this time, having lost so fucking much, he's not trying to hear none of this shit no more. Like, you've been praying to these gods. My fucking mom's dead. My family's dead. It's hard living on this planet. You bitches barely surviving on this hoe. Like, Gorr is fed up. So so he says, you know what? The gods aren't real. Y'all praying to these gods. They're not real. Y'all been doing this for how many years, and we're just dying here on this planet. Like, if they were real, they would have come to save us. They would have tried to help us, right? And I mean, it's a very reasonable train of thought. But his tribe exiles his ass. They're like, all right, get your ass out of here. Like, you doing way too much. You can't say that. Like, exiled completely out of here, right? So in his exile, Gorr ends up finding two gods who've fallen down on this planet. They were fighting, and I guess it looks like they were dead. Like, both of them were dead. But one of them actually survives and has the nerve to ask Gorr for help, right? So you mean to tell me y'all guys was doing y'all guys' business, whatever, while we were suffering, y'all was in the sky fighting and shit. Y'all dropped down, y'all both look dead. One of y'all is alive asking me for fucking help. Are you serious? So what Gorr does, he takes the weapon off of the other god, and he uses that to kill the one that's still alive. Womp womp. He uses that one. He used that weapon to kill the remaining guy who asked him for help, right? But what we find out is that the weapon is something called the all-black necro sword, and this weapon comes from the god Null. Now, the sword of Null bonds with Gorr, and that is the source of his power. So remember, Gorr, at least from the comics, doesn't really have superpowers like that. His power comes from this sword that he found called the all-black necro sword. Now, this sword, like I said, comes from Null. I'm going to give you some little facts about the god Null. Null is a god. He's the god of the symbiote. So Venom, Carnage, all the motherfuckers, like, he's the god that ended up creating those things. He's the god of the symbiotes, okay? His sword is the all black, like I said, and it is the very first symbiote that Null created. Okay, so Null, he's super powerful. He existed before time and space even was a thing. Like, he existed in the oblivion of pre-universe or whatever, pre-creation. But when the Celestials started creating life and shit, he was just like, girl, are you serious? Bitch, I was happy in oblivion. I was happy in my darkness, and you bitches are now creating life. It's bright lights everywhere, whatever. Got your high beams on, bitch. If you don't turn these lights off, So Gorr was pissed. He was fine in oblivion. But like I said, they start waking shit up. And so because of that, he waged war against the Celestials. They defeated him, but before they could, like, he created symbiotes and all that shit. So that's the kind of power that Gorr is walking around with. And Gorr himself, at least in the comics, he didn't even realize the full extent of it. Like, he was using it while learning it, right? That's how powerful this shit was. Now, the powers that come from his sword, and this is coming from Marvel.com, from Gorr's thoughts, he can mold the shape-shifting symbiote to form armor around his body and produce weapons which are limited only by his thoughts. One of the weapons, all black Necro sword, extends from his arms and is made of living darkness. The symbiote child, I don't even know which one is it. Anyway, the symbiote also provides him with the ability to regenerate. So it's not looking good for our good sis Thor, especially. But I think this is going to be interesting, like developing his character, especially if they use like a lot of the original origin story from the comic books, because it's like, okay, we're trying to get Thor to really step into his responsibilities as the king, and really see his place in the world and his response, like his duty in this world, in this universe, right, in the grand scheme of things. And if you're coming from an origin story where gods are ignoring their duties or gods are ignoring people, and you're trying to get Thor to see, like, okay, if you have all this power, then you need to use it wisely, then of course, like, somebody with this backstory, a villain with this backstory, would be great to introduce when you're trying to develop Thor in that way. But it's not looking good for our sis. Like I said, I'm not gonna say everything that happens in the comics, obviously, because we would be here forever. But in the comics, some of the things that happen, right, is that Gorr, when he first encounters Thor, he drags the shit out of his ass. I mean, there's no other way to say that. There is absolutely no other way to say that other than Thor gets his ass beat. And it's not pretty. It's not cute. He gets his ass beat. Gorr ends up torturing Thor for 17 days. Okay? And while he's being tortured, Gorr is talking to Thor and be like, you know what, girl? I've actually tortured the god of torture before. He said this: I once tortured a god of torture. After an evening alone with me, he told me where his own children were hiding. So it's like, okay. Okay, and Thor is just like, last time, Thor, you was having a difficulty. I mean, he wasn't having difficulty, but he was just like, oh my God, my last lightning strike against Hela, that's all I could do. It's like, girl, you need to step it up. Now, I'm joking. I'm joking because I love Thor. I love his powers. I love how powerful he is. I'm joking, but like, girl, Thor, you need to step your cookies up. It's not gonna look good. He tortured the god of torture. Step it up. Now in the comics, they also basically, one Thor is not enough to defeat Gorr in the comics. Like that's what it is. It's not enough. Like they fight through time and space. Like we talk about, we needed multiple Thors and multiple hammers to even talk about trying to fight Gorr at that point. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Now this other factor that was in the comics, I'm wondering how they're going to implement it. Is it gonna be the same thing? Is it gonna be the same amount of power? You talk about the God Bomb. Okay. So, and this is what I think we're seeing in the trailer here, right? The God Bomb was a moon-sized explosive built by Gorr the Godbutcher, using the designs of Shadrach, the god of bombs, to kill all gods across time and space. Okay? So, to me, that means all gods across the multiverse, right? Past, present, and future. Gorr was going around to all these guys' houses, knocking on their doors and stabbing them in the chest and shit. He was literally pretending like he was a DoorDash, Uber driver, pulled up to their fucking house, and as soon as they opened the door, he launched at their ass and slit their throats. Like, that's the type of shit that Gorr was doing. He was going around town, and he was like, wait a minute, I don't have to do all this work. Gorr was like, I'm not doing all this fucking work. Are you serious? I'm going around all fucking day, all night, chasing down these motherfucking guys. How are you serious? He said, bitch, I'm going to build one bomb. Where's the god of bombs? Somebody contact the god of bombs. Get him on the phone right now, bitch. We're building one thing and we're taking out all these hoes, past, present, and future, across all the multiverse, and that's it. Gorr said, I'm tired of you, bitch. I'm tired of this shit. Okay? And you know, we could even talk about the fact that Gorr used the all black to create a whole universe, but see, and that's the thing where I'm just like, okay, now we're gonna stop, because I don't know how far the MCU gonna go with that. You know what I mean? We talking about that level of power. I don't think the MCU usually could be like, all right, we're gonna get a cute moment to build up Thor, and that's that. We ain't gonna be destroying universes and all that shit, because Thor gets really super powerful in the comics, and I don't know how far or how quickly they plan to get to that level, or if they plan to get to that kind of level in the MCU. But I feel like we will see that in this upcoming movie. We'll see whether or not they plan to in this upcoming movie. But yeah, that's it. That's a quick little breakdown. Quick little breakdown of Gorr the Godbutcher and why I believe that Thor needs to be shaken in his Asgardian boots. Bitch, like, good luck, mamas. Good luck to you, Thor. I'm gonna be seeing Thor this week, tomorrow, yeah. So you can expect me to come on here and start ranting about this shit. You can expect my Thor videos and stuff to come out this weekend. I'm sure if I'm very excited about it, I'll be like putting out some stuff tomorrow. So yeah, just look out for that. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will catch y'all later.